it clearly, persuasively, and effectively. Then we will see how to align the proposals with SDG priorities, making the work more globally relevant. And finally, we will look at some common mistakes and also how to avoid them. So this is going to be today's session. So first, let us see the importance of proposal writing. So before we get into how to write a research proposal, let's first reflect on why proposal writing is such a critical skill for researchers. So first and foremost, funding is going to be the lifeblood of research, right? So even the most brilliant research idea won't see the light of day unless you can secure the financial resources to carry it out. So proposal writing is how you make that happen. Second, the proposal represents you. It's not just a request for funding. It's going to be a demonstration of your work, a research capability, intellectual rigor, and even the reputation of your institution. So our proposal is often the first impression the reviewers and the funding agency will have on us as a scholar, right? So then the process is actually, it is very competitive. So funding bodies often receive hundreds or thousands of proposals for a single call. So to stand out, our proposal must be clear, it must be innovative, and it should also be relevant. So clear in the sense, can the reviewer quickly understand what we are proposing? That is called as clear. So our proposal should be in a clear format. Innovative means it should that the proposal does it offers something new or valuable. So that is what they will be seeing, whether it is offering something new or valuable. The next, it is the funding agency will be seeing whether the proposal is relevant to their call. That is, it is aligned with the funding priorities and also whether it is aligned with the SDGs, right? So finally, the proposals must clearly communicate the impact. That is, the funding agencies increasingly ask us that what difference will this research make the society, the economy, or the environment? This is what the question they often ask us. So what is going to be the difference? So if our proposal focuses only on academic curiosity and ignores the real world relevance, then obviously it is unlikely to be funded. So we should always remember that great research ideas don't speak for themselves. So you have to make them heard through compelling proposal writing. Therefore, proposal writing plays a vital role in getting funded. So yes, so this is going to be a main slide. So I have just represented everything in one slide. So typical component of a research proposal. So the first, this is going to be the standard format for most of the proposals. So just make a note of it. So each component actually has a purpose. We are representing this as a standard component. Each component has a purpose, and they will be checking whether that each component is satisfying that purpose, right? So the first one is going to be title. So your title should instantly communicate what the project is about. It should not be using some bombastic words. It should not deviate from the apt proposal that we are giving them, right? So the title should instantly communicate what the project is about. Next is going to be the abstract or summary. So this abstract or summary should provide a snapshot of our research work. It should be like a snapshot of our research work. The next one is going to be the introduction and also the problem statement. So both should be set according to the context. So the introduction and the problem statement should be according to the context. The objectives should guide the study, and also while the literature review should explain why it matters. So objectives and literature reviews go together. So this should guide the study and this should explain why it matters. And obviously the methodology shows how you're going to do it, right? Then the last, the expected outcomes, right? The expected outcomes, it is going to be the main part playing in our proposal. So the expected outcome, it should always state that one quote, what difference will the research make? So that is what the repeated question the funding agency is asking us, what difference will our research is going to make? So at last, we will also be providing a timeline, budget, references, that is depending upon the funding call, and sometimes annexures also will be we will be given by us, because for many science faculties they will be giving annexures, their data sets, about their data sets or the programs or the algorithms that they are using. So annexures, it is optional, that depends upon the disciplines. So these are going to be the main components of the research proposal that we should satisfy. So we should give much more importance whether we are satisfying all the research components, whether our research work is apt to this components. That is what the reviewer will be checking us. Yes, so next is going to be writing a strong problem statement. So this is going to be one of the most critical sections of our research work proposal, that is going to be writing the strong problem statement. So problem statement is going to be the most critical section of our research proposal. So this is going to be the opportunity to convince the reviewer whether our research matters, because they will be seeing the problem statement, what the problem statement is, right? So after, if the problem statement convinces the reviewer only, they will be going through the full proposals, because they will be having hundreds of proposals. So each and every proposal, they won't be giving important if the problem statement is not much strong, right? So let us just break it down into 4 points. So the first point is that articulate the research problem clearly. So in short, we can say that clarity is the key, right? So we should avoid jargon or some abstract language. So we should describe the problem in clear terms that can be understood even by someone outside our specific discipline, because mostly we will be doing only interdisciplinary research. So our problem should be in clear terms that any reviewer will be able to understand the specific, our problem specific, even though it is of a specific discipline. The reviewer should immediately understand what the problem is, and he should also understand why it is important. So clarity, in the sense, it should satisfy the two keys, what and why. That should be our first point. The second point is that we should connect our problem to global priorities, right? So in this current funding landscape, particularly for SDG aligned research, demonstrating relevance to one or more SDGs significantly improves our proposal's appeal. For instance, if our work is about technology in education, that is SDG 4, quality education, and technology in the education in the sense SDG 4 and SDG 9, quality in education and industry, innovation and infrastructure. So we should give some natural points of alignment such that our problem connects the global priorities. So that should be the second point we should give importance by giving a proper problem statement. The third point is that we should support our claim with evidence. So how to support our claim with evidence? We should use recent data, reports or authoritative studies to emphasize why this issue is pressing. So reviewers usually appreciate evidence-based proposals rather than assumptions. Okay, so rather than assumptions, if our proposal is evidence-based, obviously reviewers will be giving importance because it is dealing with real-life scenario. Then the last point is that we have to identify the gap our research addresses. So we need to show that while other researchers may have worked in this area, something is missing and our project has filled that void. So fill that gap, right? So we should always identify the gap in the research and we should address this. So these are the 4 main points that we should deal with while giving a strong problem statement. And if our problem statement satisfy the reviewers, obviously they will be going through our full proposals at a time. So we will be passing the first level of reviewing, right? Yes. So defining the objectives and methodology. So this also have given as a tabular column so that you can take a snapshot. I will explain it in detail. So first of all, our objectives should follow the SMART formula. So we used to term it in a short form as SMART. So what is meant by SMART? So here, S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, and A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. That's what it is said, that our objective should always follow a SMART formula. Even for writing papers, not only for proposals, even while writing papers, if it follows the SMART formula, it will easily pass through the editors of good journals, right? So always we should follow this SMART formula. And methodology should clearly describe our plan of action. What steps, what tools, how long, and how important it is. So whether this is the right approach, we should highlight that if any interdisciplinary components is also applicable to this. So methodology should always follow these things. So that's what I have mentioned here. So what is meant by the criteria specific? Specific in the sense, the description that we are giving for our proposal should be clear and it should be well defined. Measurable in the sense, the proposal should be using the quantifiable metrics that we are following in our methodology. So obviously in our methodology, we will be using some qualifying and quantifiable metrics. So we should mention what kind of quantifiable metrics we are using in it. And achievable is something that is, we should show that in real life, in this real life realistic world, how this is going to give a achievable outcome. So that one we should mention it. And relevant, obviously it should be directly connected to the SDG goals as well as the research problem that we have defined, the problem statement. So it should be relevant to that. And obviously we should define the deadlines, because without a deadline, we can, if you are going to just give a proposal, means it won't be satisfiable for the reviewers, because we should give a deadline that by using these quantifiable metrics, by using this methodology, within this period of time, I will be arriving at a fruitful result that is going to be novel, relevant, reliable, and measurable. So everything I should give. So time boundedness is obviously necessary. And obviously in the methodology checklist, so alignment with the objectives, so that is going to be the first requirement. That is what I said. And if our research methodology is of interdisciplinary scope, we should obviously mention it, because interdisciplinary scope is being given more important for funding. And also the feasibility, that is realistically whether it is achievable within the proposed budget or not, that we should obviously tell it. And we should also tell about our innovation, highlight about our innovation. So what kind of novel approaches, so what kind of novel methods or technology that we are going to use in our projects. So we should highlight our innovation. So this is going to be the main methodology checklist. So first we should define the problem, that is we should give the problem statement properly. Then our objectives and methodology should follow all these kind of. So after this, right, highlighting the impact and alignment with SDGs. So remember, funding agents obviously love impact. So we have to align our outcome with SDGs. Don't just research for the sake of research. Show how you work, right? So what and all we should do. So obviously there are three main impacts: social impact, economic impact, and environment impact. So social impact in the sense how it is going to improve the lives. Economic impact is it that how it's going to create opportunities, and environmental impact is going to that how it's going to protect the resources. So these three facts our project should be telling us, right? So we should always remember that while proposing, we should give proper importance to social impact, economic impact, environment impact. So social impact in the sense how it is going to improve the lives in real life situations, and economic impact in the sense how it is going to create opportunities, and environmental impact is that how it is going to protect the resources. That is what I have mentioned here. So after giving a clear problem statement, after following the proper objectives and methodologies, we should always highlight the impacts aligned with the SDGs, so that the reviewers won't just overthrow it. They just didn't oversee it. Okay, right? They will be seeing in depth whether whether our project is aligning with a funding agency. So this is going to be one of the most scrutinized parts of a proposal. So that is budget, right? So budget is going to be the most scrutinized parts of the proposal. So budgets are often scrutinized very carefully. So since they are scrutinized very carefully, we should avoid vague terms. So vague terms in the sense, we should not just write travel rupees 50,000. So if you're going to write travel rupees 50,000, they won't accept it. We have to specify where we are going to go, why it is necessary, and how it relates with our project's success. So everything should be written. So the common mistake that we will be doing that in the funding proposal, they will be giving a column as in the budget, they will be giving a column as travel allowance, and we will be just mentioning it as 50,000, 60,000, something like that. So that is not going to satisfy the funding agency. So if you are going to mention the amount in that, you should always specify where you will be going it, why this amount is necessary, and how it relates to the project's success. Okay. So a strong proposal can still fail even if the budget is unrealistic, unclear, or unjustifiable. So our project work may be nice, our proposal, the technology, the methodology, the objectives that we are using, everything may be nice. But if our budget fails, obviously the funding agency won't give us funds, because fund is nothing but it is obviously that is going to be directly laying upon the budget, right? So proper budget planning and justification of the budget is obviously necessary. So that is what I've given this tablet column. Let us see everything in detail. So how do you build a good budget? So we should actually break down into categories. So these are the standard across most of the funding schemes. So these, I have seen many funding schemes. So these are going to be the standard categories they are asking. So personal. So for personal, what kind of budget is necessary and what is meant by personal? What is the personal need you need? So personal in the sense, when we are going to do a project, we need research assistants, right? Research assistants, technical staff, project management, that is who will actually do the work. So everything we should be mentioning that in that budget. The second one is going to be equipment. So only include equipment that is essential to do the success of the project, or not what's nice to have, right? So if you're going to do some field-oriented project and if you're going to ask something that is relevant, equipment that is relevant to technology, means obviously they will just cross our proposals, right? So we should include equipment essential to the success of the project, or not which is nice to have. So we should not always concentrate on this equipment will be nice if we have it, okay? So we will put it in the budget. So that is obviously going to be a wrong call for. The next one is going to be travel. So be clear about why travel is necessary. So whether it is for data collection or for presenting results at conferences or networking for collaboration. So everything we should be clearly specifying in the budget, right? So if you are going to ask for travel allowance, you should mention that why this kind of travel is necessary. So what kind of data collection you are going to do to form a proper data set, and why you're going to present the results that are formed in this kind of conferences, or why you need this network, so why you need this collaboration. So obviously travel allowance should be properly asked for. The next one is going to be for consumables. So consumables includes software licenses, survey tools. We may need some survey tools. So disciplines or projects that involve statistical results, they need survey tools, right? Reagents. So whatever is needed to produce results, so we should obviously report about the consumables that we are needed for. The next one is, that is a key point, that is that every item must be for a purpose. We should always remember that. We should always avoid the generic terms. So like miscellaneous expenses and all, we should not use in funding proposal. So many of us make that mistake. We will be putting miscellaneous expenses and we will be putting 20,000, 10,000, and we will be just mentioning it as miscellaneous expenses. Instead, we can just put 20,000 and we can mention it as data collection, right? So you can just say it like 20,000 for 100 participants survey at ₹20 each in rural areas of Tamil Nadu. So this gives a clear idea for them. Okay, they are going to collect the data for 20 people in rural areas. So 200 per head. So they are asking for 20,000 and this is for data collection. Okay, fine. This is reliable. That is satisfying. So like that only we should put. We should not put it as miscellaneous expenses. That is completely wrong. Always follow a golden rule. Ask only for what you need to complete the research successfully and what you think you can get, right? Don't ask whatever the columns they are asking, just don't fill it blindly. We should always ask whatever is necessary for our research work. So this will give faith in us. They will be sure that, okay, they know about their research work. They are clear about their proposal. They know what they need, what they are going to do, and what the result we are going to get. So this will make the reviewers think that we can provide fund for them because they are clear about their proposal. So the budget planning and justification should be proper in this way. So yes, so now we have come to the common mistakes to avoid. So now let's discuss some of the most common mistakes that weaken a proposal and how a proposal can avoid them. So we are just seeing it step by step. So all these, while writing the proposal, we should satisfy all these things. So first we saw how to do a problem statement, then about the objectives, then about the methodologies. Then after seeing the objectives and methodologies, what and all things we should highlight in our objectives and methodologies. After highlighting everything, while doing the budget, how our budget should be formed. So now a proposal is having a skeleton form, right? Our proposal is there. So after having this fundamental form of our proposal, we should check the common mistakes that should be avoided. If we made these mistakes, then we should clarify it. We should just rewrite it and focus on how to avoid these mistakes. So now we are going to discuss what kind of common, mostly mistakes we will be making that weakens our proposals. So the first one is going to be vague objectives. If reviewers don't understand exactly what you're going to achieve, your proposal will lose credibility. Remember, specific, measurable, and impactful. This is going to be the formula for the objectives, right? So the reviewers will be checking whether you have mentioned exactly what you're going to achieve. So after completing your objective, check whether your objective is specific, check whether your objective is measurable, whether you have used all the quantifiable and the qualifiable quantities, and check whether your objective is much impactful, whether it is directly connected to the SDGs. So we have to check it. Next, second one is fees justification. Everything while for funding, for getting a funding proposal, or even for publishing a paper in a good reputed journals, justification is absolutely necessary. So a problem without a data or a references to back it up won't convince anyone. So obviously we should include the reference section. Always provide proof that the issue exists and matters. So if you're going to tell that some real life scenario, this kind of problem is existing, so I'm going to use this kind of technology to solve this problem, show where that problem is existing. That is what this references is need for. You can, in references, you can share any papers, journals, or any links that gives the survey of the real life problem, everything. So everything can be added in the references. So this shows that yes, you have involved studying that real life problem. So obviously it will be convincing the reviewers. The next one is going to be poor alignment with SDGs or with the funding priorities. So funding bodies are looking to invest in projects that solve real world problems aligned to global goods. So if your proposals seem isolated from the broader priorities, it will obviously get low scores. So aligning the SDG goals is obviously going to be a vital part. So we should properly and directly align with the SDG goals. The next one is going to be over ambitious scope. That is, it is tempting to propose a large scale situations, but the reviewers want achievable, well-defined projects, right? So avoid those large scale solutions. Don't rely upon the large scale solutions. It is better to propose a small project and complete it successfully than to over promising it. So over promising and under delivering it is going to create a bad impression for us in the funding agencies. So that won't allow us to get full funds. So always it is better to promote a small and some achievable project, right? The next one is going to be incomplete or vague budgets, right? That is unclear budgets. So if as I said before in the previous slide, if your budget looks sloppy or unclear, reviewers might think that the entire project hasn't been thought through carefully, right? Hasn't been gone through carefully. So the budget should not be incomplete. It should not be vague. So we should remember the proposal writing is not just about the brilliance of our idea. It's also about the credibility, the clarity, and the practicality, right? So we should always remember that CCP, whether our project or our proposal is creditable, whether it is clarity, it has clarity, because reducing the clarity and reducing the focus will make our objectives vague. So whether it is full of clarity, and practically also whether our project is possible and useful. So we should always follow this CCP rule. So yes, so now we have come for the tips for a successful proposal. So proposal writing is both an art and a skill. So we should follow the guidelines. We should use plain language, not so bombastic words, not so complicated words to show that our proposal is strong. We should use plain language because we are going to do something that is going to be useful for the society. It is going to be an application-oriented project. So don't use such kind of jargons and bombastic words at all. We can use plain language. So that will give a good impact. And we should always have a colleague or a mentor to review our draft before submitting it, because they may also give, it is actually like a checking process. They will be mentioning whether they can understand our proposal, so that gives us whether our proposal is focused or it has clarity, right? So we can always give a colleague or a mentor to review our draft. So always remember, we have to start early, and early submission is always a better submission, because submitting at the last stage will make the reviewers to avoid it, because whenever we are submitting early stage, out of hundreds and thousands of proposals, our proposals will be given importance. They will be checking all the points. If not, they will be checking the flaws in our proposals and they will be eliminating it in the preliminary level itself. So always start early, and an early submission is going to make our proposal more impactful for getting a fund, right? So these are going to be the main tips for giving a successful proposal. So the next slide, yes, make a note of it. So even in yesterday, many of us were asking about the useful tools and templates and links, right? So these resources can guide you. So UKRI's Research Development Toolkit, so I have just given the link here. You can just go and refer to this toolkit. This is of great use. Especially for economic and social sciences, because yesterday many of you were of different disciplines and we were asking doubts. So this toolkit is going to be useful for you. And yesterday we were talking about Wellcome Trust, right? It is an international funding agency. So I have given a link for this. So this link will help us how to apply and write a great grant application, right? So this link will be giving us much more details about it. And NSF proposal toolkit. So this is actually an award search link. So this includes proposal outline, budget template. So they will be having some standard templates. If you go and surf inside this link, you will be getting some budget templates, some biosketch formats, and some data management plans. So this will be useful for many MBA candidates, those who are dealing with the administrative kind of disciplines. This will be much more useful for you. So please make note of these useful toolkits. So these three are some common useful toolkits. So if our university or your university, check with your sponsored research office or a research development cell. And if you're not able to go through this toolkit fully in depthly, obviously your universities will be having license to it. So you can just check through it. So these toolkits are very essential for grant writing. And these are obviously available from the funding agency. So make a note of it. Yes, so these are some links for sample funded proposals. So the first link is NSF award search. So yesterday we were talking about NSF, Cordis, and also these are some links that is available for how to write a proposal, right? So you can just go through this. So this NSF, okay, many real award abstracts and outcomes are there. So we can obviously understand how a successful proposal will be. So instead of just seeing a sample proposal, here they have given many successful proposals. So you can just go through this link. It will be useful. And the second one, it will be giving a detailed information, and it will be also available for us to some many downloadable projects of different disciplines is here in this link. So the second Cordis projects, you can use that link for that. And the third one, they will be having many full proposal examples with methodology and objectives and analysis they have used. So this will help us to present our proposal in a proper format. So use these links to see many sample funded projects. So it will be very useful from our side to get a good proposal, because the links which I'm sharing, it is of international use. So if you are going to follow this methodology, when we are submitting our proposal national level, that is like for AICT or UGC or for DBT, So it will be very impactful, right? Because our writing will be in the international level, so it will be very useful. Just make a note of it. Yes, exactly. Some additional resources and guidance. So these are also links. So UKRI. So it will be, this link will be giving us how to write a good application, good proposal, right? And this open grants, many examples, many proposal guide. It has many samples. So you can just go through this link. And this NIH, it helps us how to write a good proposal. And yesterday we were talking about this Horizon Europe, right? So this Horizon Europe in its official website itself, it has many official templates, and also it gives us guidance to how to write a good proposal. So we can make use of these links to form a good proposal, because writing a good proposal is, we cannot do it in a short period. It takes a very much more time, right? Because our proposal, when you are going to submit it, first it should pass the initial level, then it should go to the next level. So just writing a proposal just to show it for our institution sake is not going to improve our reputation. So we should get, if you're going to write a proposal, obviously we should be getting a fund from it. So writing a proper proposal and sending to a proper funding agency is going to be a really tedious task, right? So these links will be useful for that. So yesterday in the chat box, many were asking that I am from an English discipline, I am from an economic discipline. So what is the main focus areas that I can rely upon to write a research proposal? So I have just given everything in a tabulation, right? So I have shown all the main major disciplines. So obviously we are going to follow only interdisciplinary projects to make our proposal much strong and novel. So if you're going to follow a main discipline, if it is going to be of English literature, then obviously you focus on cultural impact and SDG 4. So SDG 4 is going to be about good education, right? So if you're going to be an English literature researcher, you focus on cultural impact and SDG 4. So many funding agencies are providing funds for that. And if you're going to be a mathematics researcher, you emphasize applications to real world challenges, and also you emphasize on modeling. So right now, mathematical modeling is flourishing, right? So you emphasize applications to real world challenges and modeling. And if you're going to be a science researcher, then it's about experiments and technologies linked to SDGs like health, clean energy. So to this and all, you just include the technological results, include the experimental results, and you will be getting good fund. And if you're going to be an economics researchers, then obviously you can talk about policies, sustainability goals, and you can align with SDG 1, no poverty, and also along with SDG 8. So if you are going to align with SDG 1 and SDG 8, you will be getting good opportunities from the funding agencies. And if you're going to be a biology researcher, then focus on health and environment, because sustainability and conservations are given much more importance by the funding agency. So if you're going to be an biology researchers, then you can give importance to that. So the SDGs that is going to be suitable for you is going to be 3, 12, and 15. So here I have just mentioned the main SDGs that will be useful for you to align with it, and the main topics in which the proposals you can be giving. So just go through this, and by the previous links, if you're going to go through this, if you're going to write an effective research proposal along with the proper real life references that are available, obviously you will be getting a good from the funding agencies. So yes, so to sum up, a successful proposal tells the compiling evidence. So back to relevant story, right? So strong methodology, alignment with the SDGs, and clarity will obviously and significantly improve your chances of funding success. So right, so that's brings to the end of this section. I'm happy to take any questions now. So any questions? Because I just want to be today's session to be more interactive, because this is going to play a vital role when we are going to, this entire FDP is about getting funds for our projects that is relevant to SDG, right? So in today's session only, we have talked about the main funding agencies, right? So yes, I have got a question. So for management discipline, yes, for management discipline, already I have mentioned in the previous slide. So if you are going to be of a management discipline, you just make an interdisciplinary research work. Because if you are managed discipline, obviously you will be using many statistical tools, right? You will be giving many real life situations. So you just use many interdisciplinary projects along with mathematics or computer science, so that you can just solve the real life scenario, real life problems. So you can follow the SDG that is dealing with technology, innovations, and industries. So that SDG will be useful for you. Yes, any other questions? Because writing a good proposal is going to give us more impact and more chances to get funds from good funding agencies. So I just want more questions from your side. Any other questions? So any other questions related to today's session?
Participants, you can unmute yourself also.
Yes, you can ask through mic instead of chat boxes. Yes, any questions? So as Ms. Hema asked, I had just mentioned that SDG 9 industry innovation in infrastructure for management. Similarly, management and all, you can also give importance to gender equality. You can also give importance to the SDG that deals with the smart cities and communities. Right? So these and all are going to give importance to you. Anything regarding the writing of the proposal? Because that is going to give importance, right? So anything regarding the writing of the proposal? So in tomorrow's session, we will be seeing many case studies. So about the projects that got success and about the projects that didn't go through the success. So we will